All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I am Scott Schuller, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in. Trying to have some fun here to make sure we get you these markets too. And you know, we started the radio show this morning and it looked pretty good, but I'm afraid that's not the case, at least unless it's changed in the last half hour. But let's take a look at corn. Let's bring up that corn board. It's the fronts are a little bit better, right? We've got July up 0.75 cents, 5.97 and a quarter's last. Trying to get a 6 in front of it. We did have a high of $6 even. Look at that. But as you go out the defers, we lose about a nickel all the way across. We got D's off 5.5 cents to 5.29 and a quarter. That's 5.29 even now. So that's about what? 2.25 cents off the lows. So that'll give you an idea about where we're at, and we're about 8 cents off the highs. All right, let's take a look at soybeans. What have we got going on there? Everything's lower, not by a ton, but you do lose more real estate as we go out the deferreds. July's off 3.75 cents to 14.32 and 3/4, while NOV, that's off a full dime, the 12.70, and that's 2 cents off the lows out there. Wheat in Chicago, the Chicago wheat market is off. It's lower, 5.5 cents lower. July's trading at 6.54 and 3/4, about what, 2.5 cents off the lows there. And you go out the deferreds to say December, 4 cents lower out there to 6.83 and a quarter. Hard red wheat in Kansas City. What's Kansas City got in store for us? An up arrow. Look at that. Little green on the screen, but it's yellow on yours. July's up 12.75 cents to 8.45 and 3/4. But that's still in the middle of the day's range. We were much higher earlier. Dees is up 9.75 cents to 8.31 even, and that's about a dime off the highs. There you go. That's Kansas City. Let's take a look at Minneapolis. That's up a dime as well in that July contract. 8.46 even is last there. 10 cents off the highs, though. We were up 20 cents at one point in time. Dees is up 7.25 cents to 8.51 and a quarter, and that too is about 10 cents off the highs there. Finally, let's take a look at cotton. We'll get to our guest analyst. 53 points lower in that July contract to 83.37, and we're off 40 points in the Dees contract to 82.84, but we're well above that 80 line. I guess that's some consolation. Let's bring in our next guest analyst, Todd Bubba Horwitz with Bubba Trading out in Las Vegas. Thanks for being on, Todd. Appreciate you taking the time on a busy Monday. Anything jump out at you? What do you think?
Professor, no, it's very quiet. I think the action is actually pretty good. I would expect a little bit of a pullback. We had a nice little rally at the end of the week last week, and again, a little pullback is probably more bullish than if they continue to go higher. You like to see that backing and filling, that coming back to a level of support before taking off again. I think that creates a lot more strength and a lot more power as it goes forward. And I think we're really in a pretty good position right now, although it certainly doesn't feel great, but it looks a lot better than it feels, I think.
So it looks as though that the funds got some corn here as of late. Do you think that's a mistake?
I do. Listen, I think shorting grains at these levels is a big mistake. Now, certainly in a short run, it could be beneficial and they're willing to get out. But I think most big markets start with a short squeeze. And I think we're, again, days away, weeks away. Nobody knows when. But at some point here, there's going to be a massive squeeze because there's going to be a massive demand and we're going to have a problem somewhere. And they're going to chase them up, which will then trigger all the buying to come back in.
Expecting anything out of the WASD on Friday? Or you, what are your thoughts there? I
don't think WASD will bring anything. I think the markets will tell us ahead of time. And I think they're telling us now that they look pretty good. There'll be a little bit of a pullback. And I don't think, the problem with the reports today, Scott, is that there's so much information you already have priced in. And if you have the right people doing the calculations, you really know what the number is before it shows up.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. We'll get some new crop stuff in this Friday report coming at the end of the week. That's going to be a pretty important one. But up until then, just stay right there. We need to go away. We need to pay some bills, they say. And we're going to come back and talk more with Todd Horwitz from Bubba Trading in Las Vegas after this. All right, welcome back. Let's take a look at these screens behind my big head. Let's take a look at live cattle. What do we have happening there? Well, we're just a little bit better across the board. Let's start with June, sharply unchanged at 161.92. But as you go out the deferreds to Dees, we're up 35 cents to 168.50. But you know what? It's not a lot. We're not going to get too excited about it, but it is to the plus side, so I guess we can count our blessings there. Let's take a look and see what's going on. The feeder cattle, well, we're going to about $1. Tacked on $1 here. Let's look at August. That's up $1.05 to 222.47. Not bad. And then go out to the deferreds. Let's go to October. That's up 97 cents to 228.47 there. So feeder cattle, let's call that okay. We'll give it a B plus. Tacking on about $1. Let's go see what we've got going on with the live cattle or the lean hogs. Lean hogs are struggling still, right? June, we're up 22 cents there, 84 evens last, and that's only 12 cents from the high. But, you know, as you go out the deferreds to, say, October, Halloween, right, we're off 60 cents to 77.80, and that's a dime off the lows. So that'll give you an idea about what that curve looks like going out the deferreds. Let's bring back in Todd Bubba Horowitz. He's in Las Vegas. Todd, thanks for being on the show. All right. What are your thoughts here about our four-legged friends?
I think our four-legged friends are going to be pretty good. I think they're going to continue to kind of grind a little bit higher. I don't think they're going to explode higher. However, I do see the potential for hogs to explode higher, you know, in through July. You know, we know that coming to October and December, they're always lower. And in the last couple of years in October, December, they've been higher than the averages, but still lower than the rest of the year. And I think that we probably have seen the lows in the hog market, and I think that we'll probably see a nice little steady run at least up and through, you know, July, August before we start to see some of the pullback.
Real quick, you surprised to see not a lot of pushback from the higher beef prices going down to trading down to the lower proteins like pork?
No, because I think the real issue with the higher price in the proteins is that there's a shortage of the cattle. So when you have a shortage, it's going to keep prices, even if artificially maintained high, versus being higher because of demand or because of price.
Yeah, I mean, it just could be that simple, right? What's that Adam Smith scissors? I appreciate you coming on. There's a lot going on there. We're going to get some more information that'll maybe affect these meats when we get the WASD on Friday with the grains, but I appreciate you coming on, Todd Horowitz with Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. I'll bring it back here to Nashville and Music Row, where I get to say good morning to the wonderful Christina.